श्रीमद् भागवतम की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। श्री भागवतम की जय। Reading from Śrimad Bhagāvatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, Text 33. 33.
第中第94节331.9.33
त्रिभुवनगमनं तमालवर्णं रविकरगौर वराम्बरं दधाने वपुरअलक कलावृतानाब्जं विजयसखे रतिरस्तु मे अनवद्या। त्रिभुवनगमनं तमालवर्णं रविकरगौरवरं अम्बरं दधाने वपुरलक कुलावृताननाब्जं विजयसखे रतिरस्तु मे अनवद्या। त्रिभुवनकमलं तमालवर्णं रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलक कुलावृताननाब्जं विजयसखे रतिरस्तु मे नवद्या। तमालवर्णं रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलककुलावृताननाब्जं विजयसखे रतिरस्तु मे नवद्या। कमलं तमालवर्णं रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलककुलावृताननाब्जं विजयसखे रतिरस्तु मे नवद्या। त्रिभुवनकमलं तमालवर्णं रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने विजयसखे रतिरस्तु मे नवद्या। Tribhuvana Kamalam Kamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravaram Dadane Vapuralata Kulavatamanabjam Vijaya Sakhe Ratirastu Me Navadya. Tribhuvana, three statuses of planetary systems. Kamanam, sorry, the most desirable. Tamalavarnam, bluish like the tamala tree. Ravikara, sun rays. Gaura, golden color. Varambaram, glittering dress. Dadhane, one who wears. Vapu, body. Alakakula avrita, covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp. Ananabjam, face like a lotus. Vijaya Sakhe, unto the friend of Arjuna. Ratiyastu, may attraction be reposed upon him. May Anavadya, my without desire for fruitive results. Translation and purport by S.B.1.9.33 Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Shri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the tamala tree. His body attracts everyone in the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp be the object of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results. Purport. When Shri Krishna, by his own internal pleasure, appears on earth, he does so by the agency of his internal potency. The attractive features of his transcendental body are desired in all the three worlds, namely the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Nowhere in the universe are there such beautiful bodily features as those of Lord Krishna. Therefore, his transcendental body has nothing to do with anything material created. Arjuna is described here as the conqueror, and Krishna is described as his intimate friend. Bhishma Dev, on his bed of arrows after the battle of Kurukshetra, is remembering the particular dress of Lord Krishna which he put on as the driver of Arjuna's chariot. While fighting was going on between Arjuna and Bhishma, Bhishma's attraction was drawn by the glittering dress of Krishna, and indirectly he admired his so-called enemy Arjuna for possessing the Lord as his friend. Arjuna was always a conqueror because the Lord was his friend. Bhishma takes this opportunity to address the Lord as Vijaya Sakhe, friend of Arjuna, because the Lord is pleased when he is addressed conjointly with his devotees, who are related with him in different transcendental humors. While Krishna was the charioteer of Arjuna, sun rays glittered on the dress of the Lord, and the beautiful hue created by the reflection of such rays was never forgotten by Bhishma Dev. As a great fighter, he was relishing the relation of Krishna in the chivalrous humor. Transcendental relation with the Lord in any one of the different rasas, humors, is relishable by the respective devotees in the highest ecstasy. Less intelligent mundaners who want to make a show of being transcendently related with the Lord artificially jump at once to the relation of conjugal love, imitating the damsels of Vrajadham. Such a cheap relation with the Lord exhibits only the base mentality of the mundaner, because one who has relished conjugal humor with the Lord cannot be attached to worldly conjugal rasa, which is condemned even by mundane ethics. The eternal relation of the particular soul with the Lord is evolved. A genuine relation of the living being with the Supreme Lord can take any form out of the five principal rasas, and it does not make any difference in transcendental degree to the genuine devotee. Bhishmadev is a concrete example of this, and it should be carefully observed how the great general is transcendently related with the Lord.
呢啲由 AC 到尾間開始應該會拉全部提供。中國奉獻者閱讀。
当上 Krishna 降临到地球上时，他是凭他本人的内在快乐能量这样做的。上中下三个星系三界中的居民都渴望看到他超然身体具有魅力的特征。宇宙中没有任何一个地方的生物体具有主 Krishna 身上的那些美丽特征，所以他超然的身体与任何物质的创造都没有关系。这解释中描述阿尔朱纳是圣者 ，Krishna 是阿尔朱纳的亲密朋友。在经历了夫差和战争后，Bhishma代瓦躺在剑床上，正在回忆主 Krishna 为阿尔朱纳驾驭战车时所穿的衣服。当阿尔朱纳与 Bhishma 代瓦格斗时，Krishna 穿着闪亮衣服吸引了 Bhishma 的注意力。在这解释中，他间接地赞赏了他所谓的敌人阿尔朱纳有至尊主当朋友。由于有至尊主做朋友，阿尔朱纳永远是圣者。至尊主喜欢别人把他和那些以不同的超然关系与他相连的奉献者连在一起称呼。所以 Bhishma 代瓦抓住这个机会，把 Krishna 称为阿尔朱纳的朋友。Vijaya Saki， 当至尊主 Krishna 为阿尔朱纳驾驭战车时，阳光照射在至尊主的衣服上反射出的美丽色彩，使 Bhishma 代瓦永生难忘。作为一名伟大战将，他以骑士的心态体验与 Krishna 的关系。不同的奉献者以不同的情感 rasas 与至尊主建立不同的超然关系，并各自在最高的如痴如醉状态中津津有味地体验着他与至尊主的交流。智力欠佳的世俗之人想要表现自己与至尊主有超然的关系，于是照作地模仿 Vrajadhama 的少女，想立刻体验与至尊主的亲密的爱侣关系。他们只不过是基于世俗之人的心态去表演这种廉价的与至尊主的关系，因为真正的体验过与至尊主的爱侣关系的人，不可能依恋那些甚至受到世俗道德观谴责的世俗情理关系。当个体灵魂与至尊主的永恒关系是逐步发展起来的。灵魂与至尊主有5种主要的关系，不同的灵魂可以与至尊主真正建立其中的任何一种关系，而这并不会使真正的奉献者在超然的程度上有任何区别。比什马代瓦就是这方面的一个具体范例。我们应该非常小心地如何看待这种伟大的将军与至尊主的超然关系。
Śrimad Bhagāvatam ki.
Jai.
We are on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where
嗰個 Kurukshetra 故而之意嘅戰場。
where almost 50 days after the battle, Bhishmadev is lying down on the bed of arrows.
咁喺大約50日之後，嗰、個故而之約咧就係發生。
And it's said in Mahabharata that he taught Yudhishthira Maharaj Dharma Shastras for 54 days.
咁當時係必須啲咧教導Yudhishthira咧係
54.
54日教導Yudhishthira。
After all the deliberations of different shastras and different things which are right and wrong, different approaches to all the concepts of shastra, he is now focusing on the ultimate truth, and which he also mentions, Bhishmadev,
focusing
on the absolute truth.
咁之後咧，先生就完全將佢嘅意念咧集中於喺主 Krishna。
Right. He even says in the previous verse, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Shri Krishna."
咁佢獻出嘅必須啲獻嘅禱文咧，就係榮耀自己如果係全能嘅，熟悉所有嘅宗教原則。
So actually, the passing away of Bhishmadev is one of the most exceptional stories in Śrimad Bhagāvatam. Of Bhishmadev. It's one of the most exceptional stories.
其實呢個必須啲呢個離世咧，係喺呢個馬壇裏邊係特別嘅描述。
Because he being able to leave his body at his will,
因為必須啲係可以按照自己意願咧去離開身體。
he wanted to wait till Uttarayana to leave his body.
佢係想希望等到一個適當嘅時機咧去離開身體。
There was a time though where in a class in Mayapur, one devotee mentioned that it was not about the Uttarayana, it was about those 54 more days that he could see Lord Krishna. It was not about the Uttarayana that he was waiting for. He was just trying to get more days to see Lord Krishna.
咁佢花咁多時間咧，其實喺度等住聖主 Krishna 降臨先離開身體。
And as Bhishmadev in his whole life always lived by Dharma, he also used those days to teach Yudhishthira Maharaj how to rule the country.
咁由於必須啲係呢個宗教原則嘅領袖之類，佢係熟悉晒所有。咁佢係趁呢段時間咧，係教導Yudhishthira所有嘅宗教原則。
And at the end now, before he goes, he is addressing his whole body, mind and soul, thinking, feeling, willing, towards Lord Krishna.
呢個時候必須咧將佢所有嘅意念啊、感情啊、思維咧，完全集中喺聖主 Krishna 身上。
He's experiencing all the things he couldn't because he was on the other side of the army now.
咁因為佢而家喺敵對嘅方面喺個軍隊。
And actually these prayers that he is doing now are very amazing.
非常令人驚訝嘅。
They have so much depth and feeling because he's one of the oldest people in the whole Mahabharata scene. He's approximately 300 years old at least. Bhishmadev is very old in the Mahabharata. And he being the oldest is now praying, worshipping, glorifying Krishna, who is like his great-grandson.
His famous grandfather.
Yeah.
咁咧，呢個啲係註稱為祖父，因為佢係最年老、最年長嘅呢個 Bhagāvatam。但係而家佢竟然向主 Krishna 禱告。
And before he even started explaining the Dharma, he established with clarity that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
所以喺佢呢個三環咧，就嘅宗教原則嗰度咧，係寫明 Krishna 就係最高嘅宗教原則。
But now actually he is approaching the Lord with his own rasa. the desire of worship that he feels towards Krishna.
但而家佢向主 Krishna 去接近咧，係用佢自己本人嘅 rasa 嗰個關係接近主 Krishna。
So there is a difference in approach just in the beginning of this chapter and now in this chapter.
咁所以又喺同最初呢個章節講咧，有少少分別。
Just as there's a difference,
嘅嗰個接近。
there's a difference when you consider the Lord the Supreme Personality of Godhead and when you consider the Lord your friend or your take care.
可以當 Krishna 係朋友嘅身份就可以其中一個關係。
Similarly, we have an instance in the 10th canto where Uddhava meets the gopis in Vrindavan.
喺雅壇第10篇咧，要睇到烏特華同高皮嘅交往嘅關係。
And he thinks that they are just in love with the Lord and it's just a material thing.
佢認為高皮嗰個同 Krishna 嘅愛嘅關係好似世俗嘅關係。
And then he actually asked them some prodding questions.
佢事實係曾經問過一啲問題向高皮。
And then they reply back with the absolute philosophy of who the Lord is. The gopis then tell Uddhava who the Lord actually is, who he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why he came to this world. They tell him all the philosophy.
但係高皮們咧，竟然係回答晒烏特華所有問題。我話 Krishna 就係絕對真理，佢係所有嘅宗教問題，
And
非常熟悉。
of course, Uddhava is taken aback. He's like, so what's going on? He is bewildered.
佢哋烏特華係感到迷惑啊！做咩事咧？
And which is again what Prabhupada makes clear in all the places is the devotees of the Lord, they're not in Maya or they're not worshipping the Lord through the material contamination.
所以交翻喺個照子嚟講明，奉獻者咧係唔會被迷惑嘅，佢要知道同自己嘅關係。
They are constantly situated in the knowledge of the absolute truth. But
佢哋好正面咧咁處於嘅對絕對真理個層面嘅同佢嘅關係。
with the help of Yoga Maya, the Lord's internal potency, they're able to also relish the rasa with the Lord.
咁由於同Yoga Maya咧幫助底下咧，佢可以係品嚐同主嘅關係親密嘅關係。
So Bhishmadev now is relishing that rasa with the Lord.
咁而家呢度必須咧就享受呢個同主嘅 rasa 嘅關係。
And for Bhishmadev, the image of the Lord that comes in front of his mind is the Lord with the wheel in his hand, about to break his vow to fulfill Bhishmadev's vow.
Bhishmadev 咧就好清楚啊，其實如果 Krishna 係打破誓言咧，就其實想讓 Bhishmadev 係可以見到佢。
So, well, we actually get into that yet. We're not on that verse yet. We're not on that verse yet, but it's as we go in Bhagāvatam, that verse will come where he explains that whole form of the Lord, that he's holding the wheel. But even here, he's attracted by the Lord and his golden dhoti, pitambara.
咁所以佢係記憶到 Krishna 加入個車輪啦，去打破誓言，同埋佢而家全心嘅思維咧，只係集中喺主嘅漂亮嘅閃亮嘅黃色衣服身上，咧受吸引。
And he's attracted by the exceptional blue tamala blue color of the Lord's complexion.
同時咧，佢係被佢特殊嘅淡黃村嘅微藍色嘅身體所吸引。
And if we take a note in Bhagavatam, throughout all the cantos, throughout all the story arcs, we see one common thing is the Lord's form is mentioned through many different, passages. It's always mentioned. It's always explained with great detail.
所以喺個整部個雅壇咧，我哋睇到每一個描述嘅主嘅形體啊，都非常詳細咁描述。
And there is a very important reason for it, which is that through those descriptions is the only way that we can actually think of the Lord.
其實重點咧就係點樣可以完全係專注於想著領想住主 Krishna。
Because as it's Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Smaranam is an important part of our devotional process.
咁就係透過呢個奉愛服務嘅程序啦，三分之一分就係記憶主。
And as Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Krishna's nothing about Krishna is material.
Nothing.
About Krishna is material.
咁呢度叫主咧，不亦都講到，啲在身體冇一個係物質。
So neither are his forms, qualities, and pastimes.
當佢嘅形體咧，身體消耗時光，完全都唔係物質。
And the reason Bhagavatam mentions the form and in explicit detail is so we don't concoct a form in our head.
咁而聖經國家就係非常詳細描述每個形體，我哋係唔需要去自我推敲。
Because our minds are still very polluted.
因為我哋心意咧仍然係好污染。
We still engage in the material pleasures.
我哋仍然係喺物質世界之中受着污染。
Prabhupada also says in the purport here that there's people who just jump to the conjugal rasa, whereas they're still enjoying the conjugal, things in this material world.
咁包括提到咧，業主啊，而家俗世嘅人咧，就好似一步咧就跳到拿沙之母嗰個，以世俗嘅眼光咧睇呢個主 Krishna 嘅逍遙時光，拿沙之母。
So we as devotees, we are trying to follow on Prabhupada's path and cleanse ourselves, but we aren't clean yet.
但係我哋會應該嘅跟隨聖巴巴嘅部分咧，我哋係未潔淨嘅，係每一步去到呢個拿沙之母。
And a process of getting clean is through smaranam of the Lord and His form, the way it's mentioned in Bhagavatam.
要有我哋嘅思維清潔淨化咧，就係透過 smaranam 記憶主嘅逍遙時光形象諸如此。
So that's what now Bhishmadev is doing. He is glorifying the Lord's form, and he's because he's right there. He has the opportunity to be personally present with the Lord.
咁而家邊個啲就係完全喺集中意識咧，係冥想住主嘅超然嘅形象啦，同埋佢係等住 Krishna 親臨。
So he's enjoying that form of the Lord, which we now, through his words, can try to remember and think.
如此咧，佢先可以真正咁去冥想，記憶住主。
And not to go off point, but smaranam is very important, but not without
係最重要嘅就係記憶。
not without chanting of the holy name.
得。
If the chanting of the holy name is not there, then smaranam actually doesn't have
假如你
value.
冇唱到主嘅聖名，你係唔可能記憶到主。
Because, and there's a point Rupa Goswami makes is, yes, you can do smaranam in this world, and when you go back to Vaikuntha, to Goloka Vrindavan, you're not going to be sitting in front of the Lord with your eyes closed and doing smaranam.
我跟到 Swami 咧係曾經講過，你去到成片世界，唔可能淨係眯埋眼喺度冥想係無唱，仲係唔可能。
But it doesn't matter if you're in Goloka Vrindavan or in this material world, you can always do Sankirtan. You can always do Sankirtan.
喺 Goloka 咧，或者佢曾經都係經常係進行 Sankirtan， 唱頌主。
That's what he says. The Sankirtan is the most transcendental path or process of going back to Godhead.
所以稱為呢個 Sankirtan 咧，唱頌聖名係最超然嘅唯一回歸神手嘅途徑。
So, of course, we should be focusing on japa and Sankirtan, which Prabhupada has given us.
當然啦，我哋就應該係非常專注於 japa 唱頌主嘅聖名。
But there's many times of our day where we aren't engaged in either of them. There's a lot of time in our day where we're not engaged in either of them.
因為喺日常之中，我哋好多時間咧唔係一定係從事緊服務之中。
And it is then that we can try to remember the Lord and His
但係我
form.
哋都要經常去嘗試記憶住主嘅形體。
And it's just engaging more senses. With chanting, you're hearing the name. With smaranam, you're actually engaging your mind.
就係用比較透過感官嘅心意咧，咁樣去從事於主嘅服務，你就可以記憶到主。
But we should be very careful that it is according to the Shastras, not according to our mental health.
一點小心咧，要按照經典嘅指示去冥想記憶啊，唔係按照自己嘅推敲或者思維。
So here Bhishmadev is helping us have a form of the Lord that we can focus on, that we can develop taste.
所以邊家啲喺度教導點樣去冥想主嘅形體啊，逍遙時光咧， 同業增加佢嘅記憶同埋信念。
So, how do we do this Smaranam? Vishwadev also mentions that the Smaranam, the Kirtanam, it should ultimately be done with Anavadya Rati. Anavadya Rati, that's the Sanskrit term in the verse. It means without desire of fruitive results. So, our prayojana, our abhideya, which is the goal and the process, are the same. We want to chant the holy name, to chant the holy name, to chant the holy name. Similarly, we want to remember the Lord, to remember the Lord. It's very easy to say it, but very hard to actually understand that Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes are Krishna, are one and same. And it is because we don't actually clearly understand this, then when we're chanting, we don't actually see the Lord. So, through chanting only, one day, with the mercy of Guru Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada, we can see the Lord. One day, hopefully. But the Anavadya Rati, the desire devoid of fruitive results, is a must. You have to have that. Because the one thing we never forget is me, I myself. So in this material world, our natural tendency is to think about me. And again, the reason why rasa or relationship with the Lord is important is because then now you're thinking of me in relation with the Lord. And when that love develops, because the relationship is consolidated, which is sambandha jnana, then that desire to serve the Lord becomes more important than me. And that process of developing that taste is what Bhagavad Gita, Śrimad Bhagāvatam, Prabhupada's books are all about. That sambandha jnana which makes it very clear that the Lord is my master and I am his servant. Is the knowledge that you can get if you deeply study Prabhupada's books and or deeply chant the holy name. Because there is nothing in this world, even material, that you can achieve without effort and hard work. So in our path of devotional service, or the path of prema, or going back to Godhead, which is the absolute and the topmost in this world that is available, we should not expect results just because we come to the temple or chant 16 rounds every day. Extra effort and understanding that this is not for me,
要作出個努力啦，當然同埋你明白唔係就係為咗自己。
It has to actually come up from within.
啱啊！
It has to develop inside, in the
因
heart.
為你自己要喺內心咧培育呢個意願啊。
Because as we see, Srila Prabhupada being very merciful said, at least chant 16 rounds every day.
咁呢個係透過聖巴巴嘅人士咧，我哋係可以唱，每天唱做起碼16篇。
Considering that in the rest of the day you are very heavily engaged in book distribution or Krishna service as such.
而一日中嘅時間咧，就將你嘅時間完全從事喺主嘅服務之中，譬如派書啊、唱頌啊、啲人。
Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he didn't let his disciples do deity worship before 64 rounds in the morning. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
巴基斯坦收集都係更加嚴格，佢哋啲門徒練唔晒
64 rounds before puja.
14個圈佢先可以做其他服務。
So they would wake up at 12 o'clock and do 64 till 4 o'clock and then do their Mangalarti and all the pujas.
佢哋好嚴格，每天4點鐘就起床，做晒所有嘅早課。
So we have been given a very merciful path, but then the quality of those 16 rounds really needs to be very high.
呢個唱頌嗰個圈數係非常嚴謹。
If you're doing your rounds, walking around,
要係專注，唔係咁行下、企下、望下。
thinking of this and that, in the 16, the first few are just to get my mind together, then, few are good, and at the end, I don't have time, so I'll do them in the evening just before I go to sleep.
常嘅練做之初，你頭嗰幾個圈都幾專注，跟住你就周圍遊㗎啦個思維。
So this will for sure guarantee that, yes, you will not maybe get tainted by Maya more, but it doesn't mean that you will actually get anywhere higher unless you actually take up the instructions of Prabhupada seriously. Because the instruction isn't chant 16 rounds every day, it is at least chant 16 rounds every day. And so now, it's not actually about the rounds, it's about how much of the day are you engaged in thinking of the Lord. How many times in a day do you think, oh, the Lord has an amazing, beautiful blue color? How many times do we adore or admire the Lord's, dress that He's wearing today? Admire, like, adore the dress, the color. It's again. And it is through these small things that we can actually improve the quality of our chanting and improve our focus. One of our teachers in Gurukul used to tell me, one of my teachers in Gurukul, that when you go to the temple for darshan or mangalarti, remember all the colors the Lord is wearing. You might not be able to focus on the Lord the whole time, but if you have a task of remembering what colors they're wearing, you'll automatically be scrutinizingly scanning the Lord and the dress that they're wearing. And then in the Mangalarti, when you spend that much time looking at the dress and going through it, when you sit down for chanting, automatically that's what enters your mind. And again, the mind is very fickle, but we have to try as much as we can to bring it to the lotus feet of the Lord, try to remember the Lord, and try to remember the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Because all our philosophy ultimately can be, concised in 2 sentences, which is always 2, not even sentence, phrases. Always remember, never forget. So in our life, we have to actually see how much of that principle is being applied on what I'm doing. Let's say I'm making a garden, or I'm doing arti, or I'm doing japa. How is that principle applying?
日中你嘅服務啊，天花雲又好，崇拜又主啊，要好清晰咁記憶我做呢個目的係咩咧？就係為咗記憶主 Krishna。
Yeah, that's it. Any questions or comments, please? Thank you so much for gracing the class, Prabhu.
Krishna Devi is remembering. No, I think it Vishnu Devi is remembering the last moments he saw the Lord in the battlefield.
Yes.
And I have to give you. Sit here. He is remembering when he saw Krishna last moments in the battlefield.
呢度今日哲巴利會講到咧，喺必花啲喺戰場而家見到主，親自見到主啊！
So it means even in that very intense situation in the battlefield, he was appreciating, he was paying attention to all the details of Krishna's form rushing towards him.
即使喺呢個咁緊張嘅時刻，佢全身仲見喺聖火，但佢仍然可以咁清晰咁深刻記憶主嘅。
His mind was totally fixed on Krishna.
因為隻心亦完全係固定於主 Krishna。
He was having darshan of Krishna.
呢個先係真正嘅得神緊照自己。
But we go in front of the deities to have darshan.
但係我哋緊記主係點嘅情況咧？
And our minds are totally elsewhere.
我哋嘅心意其實係周圍飄。
That's why Prabhu reminded us that it's very important to pay attention, how his teacher told him about, to pay attention to the different, how the Lord is dressed, how he's decorated. Because all this is part of the darshan, and not just we are there in the front of them and that's it. But then we don't remember even which color of dhoti they had, which color of shirt they had, what kind of decoration they had. And the pujari spent 1 hour, 2 hours dressing them very nicely so the Lord could give us his darshan and we could appreciate all these aspects.
呢個巴利維會祝福我哋見神像嘅時候咧，要好認真啊，唔係心意飄蕩啊咁，係記憶住主着咩顏色衫啊，點樣裝扮啊，因為個 pujari 咧係花咗起碼2個小時裝扮，唔係咁隨意。 讓我哋更加深刻記憶 marvel。
That's why we begin our darshan of the Lord. We begin appreciating the Lord by looking first at their lotus feet and going up, slowly appreciating the different aspects of his form and how he's dressed and decorated until we come to his very beautiful, bright face.
所以我哋緊見神像咧，應該係一步一步由蓮花燭開始，一路慢慢向上，係好認真深刻咁樣係darshan緊見，然後呢個心印象就會深刻。
But oftentimes we cannot do that. We are spaced out. Now we are spaced
但係
out.
我哋經常咧都係好maya，記憶唔到，所以需要提點。
But Bhishmadeva was in the battlefield and he was paying attention to all these details of the Lord's dress and his face, his smile, everything. And now he was remembering all those things in a moment that was also very difficult. He was pierced by many thousands of arrows and laying down in a battlefield, and he was remembering all these details. This is absorption.
所以必須都係作為一個好好嘅榜樣，教導我哋，即使佢係咁辛苦嘅情況，全身中箭，非常痛咗，佢仍然可以係認真咁去緊見主、記憶主。
So at least thus you can have darshan of the Lord without any pain in the body, and you can you can pay attention to the details.
所以每次緊見神像唔好咁隨意啊！ 係好認真，好似 Krishna Day 嘅例子咁，每一刻都係好認真咁緊記 主出神都會
So
記憶。
if we train ourselves to do that, then at the time of our death, when we are in a very critical moment, we can remember something of the darshan of the Lord.
如此咧，就透過呢個訓練，我哋訓練自己點去緊見見尊主，點樣記憶佢咧？咁我臨終嗰一刻咧，我哋先容易去記憶到主啊。Very important point. Thank you, Krishna Bhagavatam.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hi, I took Hare Krishna. I took a note and it says, let me know how to focus all my thinking on Krishna alone. So in this case, like if I get to the vision of focusing on Krishna alone, does that mean I will see Krishna in everyone?
You understand the question?
That's the Uttamadikari platform. It's
Focus doesn't mean you see everyone Krishna. 我覺得個問題呢就係我哋頭先你話要。
It's a difference in see everyone as Krishna and see Krishna in everyone.
Krishna, see Krishna everywhere.
Yeah, like thinking of
咁
Krishna.
我哋咁專注冥想住係咪？啲男話係咪我哋要想將每個人都睇到係 Krishna 咧？咁相關呢個都話，因為係透過咁樣見到 Krishna 無處不在，但唔代表每個人都係 Krishna。
Right. So in the 11th canto, in the story of the conversation between King Nimi and the Navayogendras, this conversation comes, and that's when the first Kavi, first Yogendra, he explains Uttamadikari platform. And the definition he gives, that's actually where we take our definitions from Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari, and Kanishtadikari. So Uttamadikari says the one who sees Krishna in everyone is an Uttamadikari. In.
Yeah, not everyone is Krishna.
Yeah, no. That's a different concept.
Yeah, it's all.
Krishna in everyone. You realize that everybody is a part and parcel of the Lord.
Yeah.
Everybody is a servant of the Lord. That is Uttamadikari platform. So yes, if you actually go and deeply in that meditation, that's what you will get to.
咁但係嗰個回答咧就喺隻呢啲國家琴日11篇係有講到呢個對話咧，係講到每 Krishna 係覺得為我哋呢個部分，我哋係Krishna 嘅一部分咧，所以我哋係見到主無處不在。
Though it's
所以
actually
我同埋嗰個階段最高層面就係視每個人都係同 Krishna 一樣咁高層面，唔係去唔識得點樣睇分別。
Actually, Krishna Baladev, I have a question for you if you wouldn't mind me asking.
Oh, I'm not giving you lecture.
Yeah, and detailed explanation is better for the new people. Sometimes they misunderstand.
Right.
Or when they explain to people, everyone is Krishna. That
Yes.
is not
So
proper.
there is this explanation that actually, unless you get to that platform of seeing Krishna in everyone, you can't actually go back to Godhead.
其實你如果達唔到呢個層面，睇到每個人落心裏邊都係有 Krishna， 你係唔可能翻去古都區唔得嘅。
So maybe after class, I wanted to ask what do you think about that?
This is
We need training.
obviously if we have realized Krishna, then we're going to see Krishna everywhere.
Yes.
So that's an automatical thing. When we are totally Krishna conscious,
Yes.
we are conscious of His presence everywhere.
Yes.
You see every Krishna in any form. In this world, you see the presence
Of the Lord, yeah.
Yeah, it's automatic.
Yes, yes.
Krishna
So, is this something that can happen at the last moment before leaving your body, or is it something that you have to be living in, like living your days of your life?
Can be at the last moment. Can be at the last
即係話
moment.
除非假如你嘅知覺咧係真係 Krishna 知覺，你係好自然咁樣睇到
Thank you.
Krishna 無處不在，喺每個人內心之中係唔係咁難，但係要需要
But
訓
don't
練，
wait for the last moment.
Yes.
自己去練習。
So ultimately, our devotional practices and the whole process, it should lead us to at one point seeing Krishna everywhere, becoming actually Krishna conscious, not partially Krishna conscious, not temple Krishna
全
conscious.
面嘅 Krishna 意識知覺唔係一部分嘅知識，係完全知道 Krishna 喺 無處不在喺每個人內心。That's why we need to respect everyone. This is most important.
And yes,
No, that's how you go.
it's a lot easier in the temple or with the devotees. Even then, it's not that simple. Actually, sometimes if the devotees upset you, it's hard to see Krishna in them. But it's still a lot easier in the temple environment. When you go outside and see somebody, cutting meat, serving meat, cooking meat, it's very difficult to see Krishna in them. But that is also just, Krishna is in them just as much as Krishna is within all of us.
如果我哋假如見到所非常存在每樣中心，我哋自然會好熱誠咧，增加我哋嘅熱誠嘅角度。
Yes.
Yes, you're so right about not only being Krishna conscious in the temple, because at the beginning it was like that, and then slowly I do
China, there's no
feel
temple. There's no Krishna.
it's coming. The temple is coming out with me.
Yeah.
Like not always, but at glance is like amazing.
Yeah.
當然主係無處不在咧，唔係淨係喺廟堂咯，你大陸都冇廟堂咁就冇 Krishna 咯。唔係嘅，個知覺就係 Krishna 無處不在。
Yeah, thank you, Maharaj. Actually, Prabhupada also says that when we decorate our body with a tilak, you're decorating the temple of the Lord. Because the Lord is sitting in the heart, and the whole body is the temple.
所以正爸爸教導我哋用天來查下全身咧，意識即係我哋知道呢個身體就係一個廟宇咁咧，需要裝飾嘅，而天落級就係最好嘅裝飾。
So we have to live our lives that when people meet us, or we meet people, they feel an experience of having gone to a temple. That's what everybody felt when they saw Prabhupada, or when they saw Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu hugged them, or just seeing them, they got ecstatic love.
喺廟堂見到正泡其他話本咧，你會增加你嘅對神嘅愛，你想擁抱。
It's that serene depth of consciousness
呢個就係
on Krishna.
Krishna 意識知覺嘅深度。
So hopefully one day through the practice, like you said, Maharaji, we will hopefully get there where we become absolutely Krishna conscious.
發展好認真去修。Thank you for your enthusiasm.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Thank you very much. Grantha Śrimad Bhagāvatam ki, Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande.
Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai, Jai Prabhu Ki Jai.